vulnerable. Though designed to be one-time and private, these codes traverse a complex web of outsourced telecom providers, globally driven by cost savings and the philosophy of lowest cost routing. This exposes them to interception by multiple intermediaries who can view codes in transit, with evidence showing that large tech and financial firms rely on the same services. Experts urge organizations to reconsider SMS-based two-factor authentication and transition to more secure alternative applications like authentication apps, passkeys, or hardware tokens. Now, this is one that we've known for quite some time that SMS has been a problem. The philosophy of second factor out of bandwidth authentication, I think, is valid. I think the critical portion or the critical factor here is the implementation. If you poorly implement a lock on your door, if you could have the most sophisticated, most secure lock on your door. If you don't lock it, or if you leave keys laying around, it doesn't matter how good your lock is. In this case here, SMS, the concept of second factor authentication is valid, but the implementation of SMS is like leaving your keys laying around because it passes through so many people's hands. This raises significant concerns with so many things that we're moving into the cloud now, so many things that need to be authenticated because they're publicly facing, and we've not fully embraced these other standards out there that would make those efforts more secure. Companies using SMS two-factor risk account takeovers if adversaries intercept these codes, which makes the classic SMS method the weakest link in the identity security framework, which to a certain extent is kind of interesting because typically that weak link is the human factor here. But technology is kind of rearing its ugly head here as new attacks and new technologies emerge. With banks issuing warnings and NIST deprecating SMS for two-factor, enterprises face increasing pressure to phase out insecure methods or face compliance challenges. And this is something that I'm running into at my work as well because of the requirements placed on us. We happen to use a secure enclave that does depend on SMS authentication, which obviously that's going to be phasing out in the near future. So I'm curious what direction we're going to wind up going with that. So we will definitely keep an eye on that one moving forward. Our next article comes to us from TechCrunch, and apparently I didn't write the headline down here. Pro-Israeli hacktivist group claims responsibility for an alleged Iranian bank hack. The hacktivist group Predatory Sparrow, believed to align with pro-Israeli interests, has claimed responsibility for a disruptive cyber attack against Iran's state-owned bank SEPA, asserting that they, quote, destroyed the data associated with the bank's financial operations. The attack resulted in widespread outages across Iran's banking network, closing branches and impacting ATMs nationwide, though independent verification remains limited. The action follows several high-impact hacks by the group targeting Iranian infrastructure, marking another escalation in the ongoing digital conflict between Israel and Iran. So the seizure of the bank SEPA's system highlights how cyber conflict now directly threatens financial and payment infrastructures. An alarm bell for banks and financial enterprises worldwide to prioritize their cyber resilience. And while labeled as a hacktivist operation, Predatory Sparrow operates with methods and impact resembling state-sponsored cyber weaponry, forcing enterprises to treat such threats as they would advanced persistent threats. The group's reference to internal collaborations underscores the need for zero trust, privileged access management, and internal threat detection capabilities to mitigate the insider assisted cyber threats. The one interesting thing here, obviously, I would not expect the Iranian cyber systems to have the same level of resilience that we have in